I'm Mary K. Jankowski. I'm a lifelong Goshen resident. I'm here today with Mr. Joseph Donovan, a lifelong Village of Goshen resident, and he's going to share some of his memories of growing up here in Goshen. And I am really grateful to you, Joe, for talking to us today.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Glad to do it.
Great. So you, I think you were born in the old Goshen Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And what did your father do for a living back then, when you were a young child and after you were born?
He had a garage. He was a mechanic, sold gas, repaired cars, and he helped his father in the funeral business. My grandfather was a carriage builder and repairer, and also a funeral director. And they had a funeral home on Greenwich Avenue.
So Greenwich Avenue, and then I know the funeral home today is on South Church Street. When did it move from Greenwich to South Church?
I moved from Greenwich to South Street in my father's home.
Okay.
Then I moved in 1960 to South Church Street.
Great. Were both your father and grandfather born in Goshen?
No, my father was born in Goshen. My grandfather, I think, was born in Polville. I'm not sure, but...
Okay. And the carriages were for horses?
Horses, delivery wagons,
Mm-hmm.
Road carts,
Mm-hmm.
where you had one or two people on a cart with one horse. Or, road carts mostly.
Road carts. So they were delivering things like
Groceries,
groceries,
yeah.
ice?
Ice, vegetables, fruit,
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
Worked at the carriage, or at them on farms. And they drove them and just drove them around.
Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about school, since I'm a school employee and I'm curious about your school years. I think you had mentioned you went to elementary school at the Main Street building, which is now the Board of Ed building.
Yeah, we call it the Yellow School.
The Yellow School.
Yeah, because
Okay.
painted yellow.
And at that time, when you were really young, there was the Yellow Building, the Hooker Building, no?
No, there was the Main Street building, Yellow
Yeah.
Building, then a school in back of it on Webster Avenue.
Okay.
Then you had the country schools, one-room schools. There was one on 17A,
Which is still there. Yeah.
still there, and then there was one in Derlinville, and several other places. Can't think of right now.
Okay. For the kids who lived in the outlying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We walked to school. There was no buses.
No buses.
No. They did consolidate. The kids in Goshen still had to walk to school.
Mm-hmm. At some point, I don't know what year that was, at some point they got
They
buses,
changed
because
it,
I
yeah,
know
yeah.
my grandfather was involved with
Yeah.
the busing. But you had said walking to school was also social, right?
Oh, yes, yeah.
You would meet your
Yeah.
friends and
There would be a bunch come down from Prospect Avenue in that area and walk, and we would come down from Golden Hill Avenue, Tustin Avenue, Wickham, Grand. We'd all meet and walk to school.
yeah, sounds like fun.
It was.
I don't see as much of that anymore.
No.
Then I know you did part of your elementary school in Gar Hall,
Yeah,
which is the
went to
corner of Murray
kindergarten.
and
Yeah, went to
Murray. Yeah.
kindergarten to the old school building, because I could remember my grandfather took me one time. I didn't want to go to school, I was crying. And John Van Vliet had an old car in front of the school. And they had those days you had a stick you put in the gas tank to tell you how much gas you had.
Okay.
And he took the stick out and he said, I'm going to spank you if you don't go to school. He would never spank me, not my grandfather.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what happened. I guess I went to school,
I guess you did.
yeah. But I went to kindergarten there, then I went to Gar Institute, Gar Hall, to the 5th grade, and then changed back to Goshen Central. Well, it wasn't Goshen Central then, but it was a public school.
Which would have been,
The 5th grade to the, I graduated from high school.
and so that would have been the C.J. Hooker building?
Yeah.
On Lincoln, okay. The Gar Hall experience, that was Catholic school at that time,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. You also said you had been a crossing guard at one point?
Yeah.
So was that an appointed position or a volunteer position?
It was appointed, I guess we volunteered. There's Harry Mabey and Jack Tuttle
Okay,
and I. I
okay,
got a picture of him someplace,
okay.
of us.
And so you would wear, did you wear a sash or something?
No.
Nothing,
No,
just,
no.
just you would direct traffic
Yeah.
and safely cross your friends?
Yeah.
Did
little
they
kids,
listen
little
to you?
kids. Yeah, the little kids did, yeah.
The little kids did?
Yeah.
Okay. You have this rich memory of what the business district was like downtown, what the Five Corners intersection was like, and I wonder if you could talk a little bit about some of the businesses that existed downtown when you were growing up, and what the roads were like, and obviously no traffic light way back
There was
then.
no traffic light at the square.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember kind of a stanchion with a light on it, a bulb on it. And Route 17 used to come down South Church Street to the square and come up West Main Street, across Ryerson's Bridge to where 17M is now,
Mm-hmm.
for years. And there was, on the square, there was, John Van Vliet had a clothing, not a clothing store, a furniture store. Fred Glass had a meat market. And there was Julie Maney's parents had a store. Jack McShane had a store, a grocery store, IGA.
Mm-hmm.
Then on West Main Street there was an A&P and a Grand Union, Markowitz,
Jewelry.
store, and a ice cream parlor.
Okay.
Then Mr. Strong, George Strong, had on the other side of the tracks.
Okay.
There was Johnny, little restaurant. That was Strong's drugstore,
Mm-hmm.
Dykeman's drugstore, and at a Strong's drugstore, you could buy half a pint of Hershey's ice cream for 15 cents.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of the park and eat it.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I would go home and go up to my room and eat it. I leave the empty box in my drawer. My brother always told me about that.
Okay. And there were some hotels.
We had the Occidental Hotel
Yeah.
on the square by the railroad track, and you had the Orange Inn, and you had the Goshen Inn, which was for the harness owners,
Mm-hmm.
where they stayed when we had the races in July and at the half-mile track in August at the mile track in the
Right.
Hamiltonia.
Right.
That was
Because back then the racing season was a lot longer, right?
it lasted
than
a
what-
week.
Yeah.
But
Oh, okay.
The harness, what do they call it?
The circuit?
The Grand
Yeah.
Circuit.
Grand Circuit.
Grand Circuit,
Yeah.
yeah.
One of the things you mentioned to me in the past was that because the train was a big part of Goshen, that there were hobos, which was what
come in
these
on the,
men were called, and tell me about that.
Yeah. They would come in on the freight trains, where the freight trains went through, and they would jump off. We had a hobo camp where the Senior Citizen Center is now. Back there it was a
Yeah.
freight station and a hobo camp. We used to sneak over there in the woods and watch them build a fire, and they cook their food.
Mhm.
And these men would go around town and knock on doors, see if they could mow the lawn, do any work for people for a meal.
Right.
And most of them, majority of them, yeah, were down and out. They weren't dangerous. They would go and get on the freight trains and go from town to town trying to find work. There was no work here.
Yeah.
But my mother always fed them.
Your mother always fed them?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And like you said, you were not afraid of them.
No.
No. But you were curious about them.
Yeah.
Because their life was so different. You had also told me about the Tuttle Farm out on Craigville Road. There was a pond or something?
Well, I think it was the article up behind the
Oh,
barn,
okay.
in the barn. And we would walk out there. It was a dirt road, and summers were hot. And chase the cows out of the creek. And they go in and swim.
Mm-hmm.
They had bloodsuckers, and the dirt, the muck was, about that deep.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun.
But it was fun.
We got wet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You cooled off for a little bit.
Yeah, for about 5 minutes. And
Right.
went back home.
Yep. You also told me about a trolley station, which is long gone. Can you tell me about that again? It started on Grand Street.
Yeah, I think it ended in 1923,
Mm-hmm.
but it ended on Grand Street, where what's his name?
Oh, we mentioned that name.
Yes.
I'm not going to remember it. But it's right by where the Rio Grande goes through. It's
Yeah,
right where that
yeah,
stream and that
buildings.
building. Part of that building is still standing
Still there,
today.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
a nice house.
Then it went up. I think it went up to Spring Street, up by Cabela's, up by the Orange County Golf Club,
Mm-hmm.
up to East Main Street, and where C.R. Wolf has his office. That was where they made the electricity for the trolley.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went up to North Street in Middletown, and West Main Street in Middletown.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
So in addition to the train, which
yeah.
people could...
I don't know whether the train was there then or not. Yeah, yes, it was. Yeah, the train was there then.
You could take the train or the
Yeah.
trolley to get
Yeah.
around. I know that one of your jobs at home was the icebox. Tell us about the icebox job.
Oh, yeah. We didn't have refrigerators. It was an icebox. And the iceman would come around, I don't know, maybe a couple times a week. You had a sign, no ice, ice today, and you'd switch it in the window. And he'd bring in maybe a 25-cent piece of ice or a 50-cent piece of ice, put it in the top of the icebox. And then there was a tray in the bottom of the icebox, to take the water out, and the ice melted out.
Okay.
And that was my job as a kid, to take the water out.
To empty the
in
water
sink,
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was rough. Huh?
It was mostly on the floor
All right.
in the sink.
Yeah, what a difference between what we can do with food today, right? I
Oh,
mean, the
yeah,
amount
yeah.
of food that we can buy and put in our fridge and also in
Yeah,
our
yeah.
freezers. And back then you must have had to really
My mother used
had
to
a much
shop.
smaller amount, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. My mother used to shop every day.
Right. Also, ash, you had to take ash?
Oh, you had a coal bin,
Mhm.
and you had a coal furnace. You had hard coal, pea coal. You used for make hot water. Soft coal you used down at the garage. There was a hard coal that you used for heat, and you would shake it down every night, the ashes. Then you would have to shovel it out of the bottom of the refrigerator, or the furnace,
Mm.
put it in a barrel, and take it out and either dump it in the driveway or out in the backyard someplace,
Mhm.
the ashes.
Okay.
And in the backyard on South Street, we had potatoes, corn, asparagus, grapes, And my father used to come home for dinner, and he'd get his corn, potatoes, and he'd bring home a steak and put it in the furnace to cook it.
To cook the steak in the furnace?
Yeah, yeah. Because we didn't have a grill then.
Right.
Didn't know what grills were.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, it smelled delicious. He wouldn't share it though. He wasn't a doobie sharer.
He wasn't a doobie
No.
sharer either.
And the parents were, they disciplined you.
Yeah.
You had your jobs to do, and you better do it.
Mm-hmm. So there wasn't a whole lot of talking back, was there?
No. You learned it. You learned it at an early age.
You did.
Yeah, keep your mouth shut.
Okay.
You were kind of used to doing things on your own, but I don't know whether they are now.
Mm-hmm.
Your parents are always telling you what to do this, do that.
Okay. So
Yeah,
you were
your
much
mother-
more independent
Yeah,
at a
yeah.
younger age.
Everybody knew you, and you knew everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Remember one time we went to, there was a circus in Goshen up on Main Street, West Main Street. I wanted to go, my mother said, no, you can't go. Well, I went anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting in the stands, and Stanley Galabowski comes in looking around, and he saw me, took me home. No argument there. I don't know what happened, but that's all I remember.
What was it like when you used to play with your friends?
There was no structured sports that I know of. We used to go out and all get together. We'd either play baseball, or in the wintertime, we would walk to Peck's Pond and ice skate and have a fire.
Mm-hmm.
No adults around.
No adults?
We never had any problems. If we did, we straightened them out ourselves, and they would cut off Tustin Avenue from Golden Hill Avenue down to Spring Street to the railroad tracks, and we'd have our sleigh ride down all the way to the wrecked tracks, because there were no houses on the lower part of Spring Street.
Okay, so it would just go right through
Yeah, right to
where
the
there's
tracks,
houses
yeah.
now, down to the railroad tracks.
Yeah.
Peck's Pond, is
Yeah.
that where Inspire was?
Yes, that's where it is, yeah.
Or
Yeah,
just-
they filled it in. Or there was a pond down on Spring Street. We used to skate on.
The mud pond, yeah.
The
What we call the mud pond?
mud pond?
Same thing?
I think so,
Spring
yeah,
Street.
yeah.
And so all your pickup games, your neighborhood play, any competition, was all kids arranged it?
The kids arranged it.
They played it?
Yeah, yeah.
They worked
yeah,
out any
yeah,
problems, they scheduled it?
Yeah. We used to play hockey against the girls up Peck's Pond.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd always beat us.
The girls would beat you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we never liked them.
You never liked them,
No.
okay.
And we used to play a lot of marbles
Okay,
because the streets were dirt.
okay,
I can remember Grand Street when it was paved with concrete, but there were no concrete trucks. They had piles of dirt, and they made their own concrete there and put it on the street.
mm-hmm,
I can remember when I was very small, playing in the dirt.
okay. Wow. And you would win marbles from your,
Yeah. Mhm.
okay,
When we lived on Grand Street, there was an engine that came down from Port Jervis every Sunday morning to switch the brake cars around. And the engineer would let Bob and I ride on the coal engine
mm-hmm,
while he was switching engines in the yard. That was a big deal.
yeah.
We loved it.
That was
They wouldn't
great.
let you do that today.
No,
Watch them shovel the coal in,
mm-hmm,
and then watch the engineer what he did. It was a lot of fun.
it sounds like fun.
Yeah.
And you'd go home covered in coal dust.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
My mother was a saint. There was 6 of us,
Mm-hmm,
and we'd go to Monroe, to Round Pond, to swimming, or over to Greenwood Lake, swimming, or the fair up in Middletown, and we all could take one friend, and there was 6 of us.
Wow.
So there'd be 12. She would take a basket lunch and sit all day. And we'd go swimming, and if we ran out of money or wanted something to eat, she was at a picnic bench waiting for us.
Wow.
I don't know how she did it,
I don't either.
but she was a mother, stay-home mother. She took care of us.
Yeah.
Goshen Hardware. Well, Goshen Hardware is on West Main Street and New Street. There's a bike in the window for $35. Had a horn and a light on it.
Wow.
That was for me.
Mm.
I don't know how I bought it, but I did buy it.
Mm-hmm.
I know I had a $5 bank, dime bank, one of the little small ones.
Mm.
But I wouldn't let anybody touch the bank, the bike. That was mine.
You didn't share?
No, not
Okay.
a doobie. I wasn't a doobie sharer.
Okay. And you weren't expected to?
No.
Okay. You also drove, you were a chauffeur?
Oh, a chauffeur, yeah. When I was 17, I think, 17, 18. Yeah, 17. For Mrs. Dumbbell and Mrs. Murray. They were sisters. They lived on South Street. Mrs. Dumbbell lived across the street from us, 54th South Street, and Mrs. Murray down the street. Mrs. Dumbbell had I think it was a 36 Buick, and she'd sit in the back seat on the right-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
And if I went over 25 miles an hour, she'd tell me.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Murray had a Cadillac, and she didn't care how fast I went. They were different.
They were different, I'm
Yeah.
sure. So, when you were in high school, you were on, you did some athletics, you did some,
I liked track.
you liked track?
Track, yeah, went out
Okay.
for track.
All right.
Mr. Krepick was it.
Mr. Krepick?
Yeah, he was the coach,
Mm-hmm.
and he also taught not arithmetic, accounting.
Oh,
Yeah.
like a business
Yeah,
math kind
had a
of thing.
business class.
Okay.
And
What other sports? Any other sports?
I played one year for football,
Mm-hmm.
mostly on the ground.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that was enough.
That was enough.
Okay.
One year.
Nobody knocked you down when you ran track, right?
No.
Okay.
And I liked. I played in the band.
Mm-hmm.
Played the French horn.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the Glee Club,
Mm-hmm.
and I liked. I was in two plays,
You were in 2 plays?
Yeah.
Okay.
and I had a main part in one of the last play.
Uh-huh.
We had to move it up because I was going in the Army in
Right.
January.
Right.
But it was fun. It was fun in the plays.
Do you remember the name of the
Enjoyed
plays or no?
No.
Okay. So,
And we had our dances, the senior prom and the junior prom,
okay.
and the decorating the prom.
Oh, decorating
The hall.
the hall, because your
Yeah.
proms were in the building, in the
Yeah.
gym.
In the gym, yeah.
Okay.
And we had a live band.
And a band. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
It was a lot of fun.
I bet. So, you mentioned that they moved up the play because you were going in the Army.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know that you turned 18 that October of your senior year, and that was in 1942. And can you tell me a little bit about what happened to you and apparently some of your other classmates?
They took, I think there was 5 or 6 they took out of the class, the senior class. They went in the service, went in the Army, some went in the Marines. And 3 of us came back.
Okay.
I went up to Massachusetts to take my training, and went to Greenland for a year, came back, took infantry training, went up back to Europe at the time of the Bulge, and went to Luxembourg, Germany, Austria, Czechoslovakia, and got back home in 1946, I think.
46. So you left in 1943,
Yeah.
and you came back in 1946. Just knowing a lot of 18-year-olds, I know that that's how it's been for forever with military. At 18, you can volunteer or be drafted at certain periods. If you're willing to share anything, like what do you take away from that war experience?
Discipline. Unfortunately, you learn how to kill people. That's what you're going for. No matter what they tell you.
That's part of the job.
Yeah. You make a lot of friends. Some of them last, some of them don't last. But
It's almost like
more
family.
than a regular family. It is a family. Yeah, because you sleep together, you eat together, you got to do everything together.
And you survive together.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your service.
You're welcome. Yeah.
I know you had said that when you came back, you considered moving away from Goshen, but then you met somebody special,
Mm-hmm.
a lady named Helen, right?
Yeah.
And you ended up spending the rest of your life here.
Yeah, she latched on to me, and
Yeah, she latched on, and
Yeah.
you just
one
you
of those
couldn't.
things.
So I'm glad you stayed because you were one of the best tippers I ever had at Howell's Luncheonette when I worked for the actual Howells brothers, and you would always leave me the greatest tips. And, what advice would you give to today's parents?
To be a parent, not a friend. You can find your friends in high school. But the kids have to have discipline today. And you have to give it, whether you like it or not. That's what they call tough love.
Tough love.
Yeah.
Kids aren't always going to like you, huh?
No, they aren't. They aren't supposed to.
Right.
I don't think.
Right.
And prepare them for life.
Yeah.
If you pave the way for them, they won't know how to handle it when they have their own children.
Right.
So.
They have to figure it out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my day.
In your day. Any advice you'd give to kids today, especially teenagers?
Learn from older people.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot to give you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of knowledge there. Sometimes they, go on, and then you get a little disgust, with them. But listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
You can pick out the bad parts, you can pick out the good parts. But if you don't learn their mistakes, you're going to make the same mistake. And then a lot of the older people are very interesting when you get to know them.
I'm really grateful that you shared some of your memories about your life, and I appreciate it. And thanks a million, Joe.
Okay, you're welcome.